All right, so we got a couple updates on the hatch here. We got the downpipe all finished up with the O2 bung back there, the dump. We also got the wiring harness on completely, and I used another one of those K-tuned brackets to go through the firewall right there, just so it would be nice and clean. We were gonna do the what's that mil-spec connector called? It's just a mil-spec connector, isn't it? The firewall one? Yeah, bulkhead connector. We were gonna do the bulkhead connector, but we didn't really want to chop up this rye wire harness. I'm sure Ryan wouldn't be happy about that. But we were gonna chop that up. We didn't want to have any wiring issues or anything like that, so we just put it through that grommet right there. A couple other things I got done were some plugs on the bottom of the intake manifold. We got that on there. Swapped the alternator for an OBD1 alternator because I had an OBD2 one on there and that one wouldn't plug in. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than the brake rotors that need to go on the front, we could technically drive this car today if we had some brakes, but Taylor is here and he is wiring the M&W Pro Drag 4. This is his dog, Warren. And he's wiring up the Pro Drag 4, just the 4 outputs and the power for it. He's the wiring guy, so I don't really get into that stuff. I let him do all that. But after we get that wired up and this power and ground ran, then the ignition will be finished, and then I can put the cover on the plate, and all that will be done. Everything under the hood is currently done. The only thing I have to do on the hood itself is make the plate for the exhaust and for the dump. And yeah, this car's getting really close. I'd like to bleed the coolant if we can get it to run today on the ignition. Get an alternator belt on it. And yeah, I'm running out of things to do. Other than that, on the front it's all good. On the back we just have to make a filler neck for the fuel tanks, and that's it for the fuel. And get another set of tires for those B-lacks for the rears. Pick this up at the junkyard so I could clean it up and hook it all up to the car, because the one that we had for it was destroyed. So yeah, we're gonna do that stuff and then we'll see what else we can do after that. As you guys just saw, I just grabbed that junkyard harness that I had. I kind of ran the headlight plug over here to the headlight just to kind of get an approximate length, and then I put the headlight on, just mocked it up with the corner light, and then I put the signal light plug in there too. Kind of ran the wire over there, taped it up. I'm gonna ground this little box right here. This is the grounds for the headlights, low beams, high beams, and the turn signals. And it's got a couple of grounds that go back this way too that I'm sure ground something inside the car. So basically just cut it, match up all the colors over here because the colors are all the same on the 92 to 95s. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna tape this whole thing and then loom over it and then tape over the loom. That way it's super protected if the tire were to blow up or something or shred. It'll protect it. and then I'll put it through this boot, and then that'll be all finished up. Clamp it up onto the fender well here, and I'm also going to swap out this hood latch cable because we got a brand new one from Honda, so I'm going to go ahead and be swapping that out too. And this whole side will be done. I can put the fender on, bolt it on how it's going to go, line up the hood, stuff like that, and then I can actually do the other side too, get the headlights in and get this thing looking more complete. So I'm going to do all that stuff, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's all done. Well, Taylor depinned the 4 coil, or these inputs or outputs? I guess the 4 coil outputs for the Infinity, depinned them out of the Infinity plug, and then because the M&W box comes with these, just this flying lead harness right here, so you have the 4 coil inputs, and the blue wire is a RPM signal, which we won't use, and the red-black is a switched power true ignition wire. So we're going to put a 4-pin plug on the end of this. Yeah, pin these 4 wires into the plug right here, and we just match the wire color so it would be easy. Pin those into the plug, and then put a female or male plug on this side, and that way everything is plug and play, and you can disconnect it and connect it if you want. We could have cut these wires right here and put a plug on the end of it, but if you ever want to put this harness in another car and use the factory K-series plugs that are in the engine bay, you could just depin our 4 wires, pin these back into their spots, and it would work just normally. So other than that, it's really power ground that we got to run, and then that one ignition wire, and the ignition will be all set up. So alright, so I got this wiring all done. I just got to tie it up. What the hell is that? Look, there's a Bondo in here. This is a little turd, little Bondo turd. Alright, anyway, so I got this all done. Taylor got the ignition all wired. This is ready, so we're gonna see if it starts on the new ignition real quick, and if it doesn't, then we'll have to figure out what we did wrong. There's nothing. No lawsuit, no plywood, none at all.
Alex didn't want to stop.
Shut the fuck up.
We're like, can we go get drinks? And then he's like, no.
So if you guys are running an AEM Infinity, you have to register your ECU before you can actually use it. So in the box that comes with the Infinity will come this page right here. It'll give you a security code and the serial number to your ECU. And to not lose this page, you will need it to register your ECU. Then it also comes with some other pages talking about legal restrictions and an instruction manual, quick start guide. You know, so if you're setting it up for the first time, you can go through this, and it gives you pinouts, you know, how to load a tune, basically everything, you know, what comes in the box, all that stuff. So I'm right here on the Infinity website, aminfinity.com/register, and then basically you go to product registration, put your serial number in there, and then it'll ask you for the security code that's on this page over here that they send you, and you can put that in, and then you can start loading tunes and stuff. So if you're new to AEM Infinity, that's what you have to do. A lot of people don't know that you have to do that. Basically, this ECU comes as a brick. It doesn't have any type of tune in it or anything like that, but as soon as you register it, then you can start uploading and downloading tunes to it. We don't know why the car doesn't start just yet. I just want to put the tune and everything in his ECU because I was using my Infinity, which already has a tune in it. But we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then see if we can get it to start. We did check our wire right here. It does have power while cranking. So when you do an M&W Pro Drag 4, you have to make sure that the red and black wire that you pin has power while cranking. If it does not, it will not start. And then he just put this 4-pin on here to run the coil outputs too. So I'm gonna get this registered, and then we'll figure out why this thing's not starting. I just got done cutting this template out of cardboard. This is kind of what the exhaust plate's gonna look like. You know, kind of go around here about 1.5 inches around, and then hopefully have our boost bike gear logo right here. So I think that's what we're gonna do. I'll hook this battery up and get the car started for you guys so you guys can hear what it sounds like. We did end up fixing the ignition yesterday. That was my bad. I forgot to hook up the ground on the for the ECU. So I'll go ahead and get this started for you guys so you guys can hear what it sounds like. Sounds awesome. Alright guys, well there you have it. Car runs super good. It's got super good oil pressure. All that stuff looks good. We were just kind of bleeding the coolant yesterday. Fan turns on and off how it should. So all that's looking good. And we actually have a surprise for you guys. We are actually going to change the intake manifold on this car. Because we're going to run 8 injectors now. Because I think we're going to have a little bit more fuel for what we're trying to do. So we're changing out this Skunk 2 intake manifold for this beautiful Gato 8 injector intake manifold. Look at this thing, it's super nice. Comes with a dual bolt pattern, so you can bolt it to a GSR head or a B16 head. It does have 8 injector ports. You can see them in there. Big bore fuel rail, dash 10 fittings go in the end there, and then the 8 holes in the rail for the 8 injectors. It's all CNC billet machined. Fuel rail says always delivering power. This thing is super nice, guys. It's got the Gato insignia there on the runner. So it's got 2 1/8-inch NPT ports on the bottom and a 1/2-inch B series, it says right there. Cool, we got a sticker that came with it. Yeah, let's check out the inside. Oh yeah, that's super nice. All really nice, super billet. Everything is super smooth. And it looks like you can unbolt this throttle body flange right here, and then you can unbolt the actual plenum from the runners themselves. You see all the bolts there. So yeah guys, this will be going on the car next. We just have to order another set of injectors or the block offs for these, and we'll be getting that on there. We'll have to change the throttle body for sure, and put a bigger throttle body in this one, probably like a 4 or 5 inch throttle body, and then I'll probably also have to change the pipe or do some type of step down coupler or something like that for now. But yeah, this is going to be going on the car next. I just got the hats for the rotors today too, so I'm going to put those on right now, try to get the brakes bled, and we're trying to drive this car by this weekend, guys. We're trying to just have the first drive this weekend. It's not going to make any power or anything like that. We just want to, you know, get it on the road and see how it drives and stuff like that. But it's getting really close. Like I said, everything in the engine bay is already done. We're gonna send that template that I showed you guys a little earlier to a CNC plasma, so they can cut out the ring really nice there, and then I'll get it riveted on there. And honestly, as soon as the brakes are bled and we get this battery in its position, we can technically drive the car around. I got all the wiring done on this side. This headlight's in there, corner light's in there. This fender is completely bolted on with all the bolts it's supposed to have. I'm also going to raise up the suspension because the car's super low right now, so I need to do that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get those brake rotors together, get them on the car, and then see if I can't bleed the brakes tonight. So see you guys in a bit. All right, we're going to align the car with the string. Right now, we're checking if this tape is 2 inch.
Yeah.
Yep, 2 inch tape, all right. So we just got the transfer case on, bled the brakes, got all the wheels on with the spacers in the front. We got to put some trans fluid in it, rear end fluid in it. And then we're going to just give it a quick align with the string here. And we got to put yeah, we measured them. And put some rear end fluid in it, and then we could possibly drive this thing. Got the camber adjusted, some some oil in the rear end, and zip tied these brake lines just so they wouldn't touch the axle up here. So we're almost ready to put this thing on the ground. We had to raise it up like what, 1.5 inches right in the front, 1.5 inches in the front, because the tires were literally touching the fenders. So that's about the right height it's going to be. We got to change the battery out to a smaller one, get that hood plate done. But other than that, it should move under its own power. So I'll head start it and pull it forward a little bit.
Oh wait, battery.
Oh, hook the battery up real quick. Yeah. Even the reverse lights work.
I know.
That's crazy. Yeah, we gotta figure out how to get these lights to shut off. Something's going on there. I think something with the brake switch or something, but yeah, so now it moves under its own power. We're probably gonna dyno it like this, front wheel drive. We should have our dyno in probably here in a couple of weeks. So I'm just gonna go through and check everything on the car, all the bolts, you know, everything that we put together, double check, and then we can get it on the dyno and see what happens.
1,000 plus or bust.
Yeah.
Go ahead. 1,000 plus or bust.
Alright guys, well we got this thing all on the ground. We raised up the front end quite a bit because it was way too low. So I'm just gonna wipe it down and get it a little cleaned up and then pull it outside for you guys so you guys can kind of see what the paint looks like outside. It is pretty gloomy out there. It's really cold. It's like let me check the weather real quick. It is negative 16 degrees right now, but you know the car's been inside all night, so it's pretty warm. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it outside so you guys can check out the paint and stuff. And I haven't seen this car on the ground outside since we started putting it together, so yeah, I'll pull it out here in a sec. Pretty dark out. You can't really see the color right now, but it kind of just looks black. That looks good out here. Alright, we're just gonna give it a quick drive just around the block right here. Just a little bit down the alley, then we'll come pull back in because it's super cold out here. Alright guys, as you just saw, the first test drive didn't really go as expected. I actually drove the car around the block, but I forgot that I didn't have a battery tied down on the battery, so it actually fell out onto the street somewhere. And then I got all the way around the block, and once I got like halfway up the alley, the car died. I think that the positive and the negative terminal actually touched, and then it blew the ignition fuse. So I actually went back and tried to find the battery. I couldn't find it. I have no idea where it went. So I went and got a new battery, put it in the car. It still wouldn't start. And then that's when I found out that the fuse was blown for the ignition. But once I got that back in and the battery back in its place, I was able to pull it back up here into the shop. So yeah, but other than that, the car runs pretty good for having just like a base map tune in it. It shifts good. It's actually steers pretty good. Like you saw, we aligned it with the string just to get it, you know, kind of close just to drive it. And also, this is another thing that we got is the hood plate for it. So this is made out of steel. We had one of our buddies here from town cut it. They have a laser cutter at their work, so they were able to cut it for us. So we're gonna get that on there somewhere, like something like that. We're gonna do rivets around the outside, and then probably get it powder coated black to match the rest of the car. So that's kind of where we're at right now. The drive shaft is not on it because we're actually going to tune it front wheel drive because we only have a 2-wheel drive dyno. And in the next video, I'll have some updates for you guys on the new shop because we're getting that going now. And yeah, we're really excited to get in there and show you guys all that stuff. So we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching my videos.